This might turn out to be a super quick video. Famous last words. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another Mr. Beats Bike video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at this Sony EV-S700. It's a UB, UK market, Video8 machine. You may remember that we did a fair bit of work on this, managed to get the deck working, but the capstan motor was going like the clappers. It was going like full speed all the time. Didn't matter what you did, it was always going like full speed. I'll put a card to the original video now, but I do wonder if I've missed a connector, and Mr. Connector, and if that's the case, then this is going to be a super short video. But if we lift up the servo board, which is the MD8 board, this is on the bottom of the mechanism. Like I say, it might be worth, if you don't know these machines, watching that first video, because that will explain more. And I do remember I missed a connector when I was putting it. Well, there was a connection that appeared to not be used, and I just wonder if I've missed something. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, now the connector I thought I'd missed was the one that goes on the this, I think it's an optocoupler, but yeah, that needn't necessarily mean anything, to be fair, even if it was disconnected. So that's real drive sensors, because the real drive is driven off the capstan. Capstan motor itself, I think, is, yeah, it's that one. So all the connections there. So there's every possibility we do actually have a capstan issue. Ooh. Ooh. I just noticed that sort of like flopping about. That is totally loose. I wonder what that does. Okay, I'm going to call up the manual and just see what that does. I mean, obviously we're going to have to repair it, but yeah, it's actually fairly easy to sort of repair, I think. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this board has been in and out so much over the years. There's every possibility that, I mean, even I might have done it working on the deck. It's quite vulnerable, and at the end of the day, there's not an awful lot actually keeping it mechanically safe. So yeah, but I think we'll have a look at the circuit diagram and just double check what that's doing. Okay, so the transistor I actually knocked off was Q004, which is this one here. If that was broken before, then I wouldn't have probably have had any drum rotation or drum errors issues, which I didn't have. The drum is actually running at the correct speed. So yeah, I've obviously done that now. It's probably quite seriously been weakened over the last few attempts that's been opened, and I've just finished the job, so that's fine. So yeah, I'll just reinforce that. So you can see we've got some semiconductor fuses here, and fusible resistor, I believe that is there. I don't believe any of these are gone, because I would have nothing, or much more sort of blatant faults with motors not running, errors, probably not even loading the cassettes. So yes, I was sort of thinking maybe it was IC003 that could be causing a problem, but this deals with both drum and capstan. So, and I think it's just literally the interface between the main servo board over here and the motor drive board, which is the MD8 board, which is right underneath the deck. So I'm sure that's fine. So I'm turning my attention now to this chip here, IC001, which is a CX20136 capstan motor drive. And I think this is going to be the problem. I don't think it's on the servo control board. I think it's actually on the motor drive board. Could be wrong, but we'll check. We'll check some voltages. We've got quite a lot of data there to go at. We can also check the FG signal to see what that's showing. Maybe lower down the motor as we try and do it. The main problem I have is getting to everything. So it might be that I take the deck back out with the board on the bottom, and we just do it as a unit, sort of on top of the machine, or I might just do it from underneath how I've got it set up now. We'll see. We'll see what's easier. We might try both, just out of interest. So yeah, I suppose we better check this chip and take it from there. Let's crack on. Okay, so I've sort of done it's a bit of a bodge job really, but there are pads quite close to each of the legs. I've just soldered across to them, scraped a bit of print for that one. It's mechanically better, but it was still connected. I checked with the meter and it is actually still connected, even though it was floating about like a crazy thing. So that's good. So IC001 is capstan driver chip. So I suppose we'd better try and sort that. Sony are actually quite helpful insofar as if you undo the head motor loom and the capstan motor loom, which is, it goes into a little clip which you can't really see, but it's down here and there is space to get to it. You actually get quite a bit of space, which is quite cool. Very useful. That's quite loose. I'm not convinced that's right. Shouldn't be able to move it that much. I don't quite see that, but that seems quite loose. There's the FG coil with pickup, which could possibly be an issue, but yeah, it's running fast, so I would have thought there'd be some error trapping on this to stop that from happening. So yeah, I need to dig out the cassette that we used in the last one. I'm sure I had a cassette that actually was broken already, the cleaner cassette. So I'll just dig that out. So I found a cassette. It is actually, like I said, it's a cleaner cassette, but it is actually okay. I thought it was damaged, but I thought I'd actually taken or broken the tape basically, but I haven't. So it probably will break doing this, but it's a cleaner cassette, so I don't really mind. The only slight thing I feel is that I don't really want to run it past the heads too much. They seem okay, the heads. Okay, so power it on. Push the cassette in. I mean, it's just running so fast. And not very well either. I might be lucky. Sort of. Yeah, that's not ideal, is it? Well, I suppose see what happens. I mean, like I say, it's sacrificial. Yeah, it's not going to eject. This is going to go horribly wrong, isn't it? Let's drop that down. Well, right, so I need to go, looking from the bottom, I need to go clockwise to continue far enough to, I think, eject the cassette. Remember, on these, the mechanism is totally self-powered. It's self-powered from springs, and a really cool damper mechanism. So it's sort of nice and smooth, but it's really cool. I do like the front loading system, or top loading front loading system. It's really weird on these machines. Oh, that's it. That's as far as I can go. Okay, why can't I eject? Do I necessarily need to eject? Because all I need to do really, well, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's not worry about it. Let's turn it on. I should be able to press play, maybe. Yeah, I've got problems with optics. optics. I don't actually know whether, I think the tape's totally gone now. Yeah, it has. So it has broken the tape now. And that's sort of what I wanted, really. So we got up to coupler there. Okay. So I've got a problem now that I can't select anything because obviously, right. Alright, select rewind, and it briefly drives. And then that's it, but I can't select anything else just because light's getting through, and I can't eject. Ooh, okay, I can eject. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a bit of tape over the holes in the cassette lid. This is where the light comes through and hits the end sensors if there's if it's at the beginning or the end. So yeah, I'll do that next. Okay, so that's done. And we'll see. I still think it's going to complain because there's no actual cassette, actual tape there. But we'll see. So I've got a short time where I can play and hit other functions and then it errors. So that should be enough. Just intrigued to see if I can actually eject. Now that's no. Okay. It could be that I've got an eject issue as well, maybe, but I doubt it. When I press eject, the eject light comes on, unlaces, and then it errors effectively. I think that's what we're looking at. So what I need to do now is turn the machine around and measure some voltages to see what's going on, see if we can identify what's at fault, whether we can fix it. I just have a really bad feeling I'm going to find that chip's bad, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so this is going to be really poor camera work. I apologise for that, but I'm just trying to show you what I've found. So I've gone through the IC003, which is this chip here, and this basically provides the FG signal for the capstan and for the drum. Measuring the voltages on the drum, everything is fine, perfect. Measuring the voltages on the capstan side, all of these are 5 volts or 4 point something volts. I think this one's 5.1. This one is also, should be 2.6, but it's actually 5-ish volts. This voltage is correct, 3 volts. And so I thought, well, what's going on. What if I unplug this and see if it's the main servo board or whether it's this chip? Unplugged it, no difference. It's doing exactly the same thing. So when it's in standby, I get no voltage. When I turn it on, it's just 4 to 5 volts ish all the time on the outputs of this chip. And of course it's being fed 5.1 volts there, which is correct. I mean, it would be. It's got to get voltage from somewhere. But if I unplug this, I'm basically taking everything off. There's just nothing. There's no components. So my feeling is this chip is bad. The only other thing I can think of is this unplugged the other end? We've not even looked at the servo board yet. So it could be that something's not right on the servo board. And these are floating voltages. Could be wrong. Probably am. But it's worth noting that this board is actually quite cool from an investigative point of view, because the capstan motor literally has no chip, nor does the head motor. So by no chip, what I mean is it is just a PCB. There's no electronics actually on each of these motors. It's just literally the coils, and then all of the electronics is carried via cable and it's controlled by here. So this is basically a capstan motor control chip, and then you've got your drum control chip, and then IC003, that is what converts all of the feedback, all of the information of the speed of the two motors to signals that the rest of the servo can handle. And that's sort of why it says it's a waveform shaper, because it's actually interpreting the data back from the motor drive chips circuits and feeding that back to the servo circuit in such a way that it can actually regulate the speed. So yeah, that's actually really fascinating. And I'm going to be doing quite a bit more research on this, especially this chip, for the Betamax machines. I mean, this is a completely different chip, but the layout of this chip relative to the coils, and you can see here, it's got the coils for the capstan motor, so VH, UH, and WH. Those are the coil sets and the voltages you'd expect. So yeah, that's actually quite interesting. Then I assume these must be, I might have got this the wrong way round actually. These might be the coils, and these might be the Hall effects devices. But yeah, I need to do a lot more research on that. I'm just guessing at the moment, but it's actually really fascinating to see the voltages, because there's no information on Betamax capstan motors, and knowing all of this makes a huge difference. So yeah, that's really handy. So I think what I'm going to do, I unplugged, like I say, I unplugged the connector. You can see it floating about down there. That is connector CN002, that's white connector. So I'm going to plug that back in, and then I'm going to probably undo my crazy cable tie method of keeping that board from getting in the way, and just take a look at the actual servo board, which is under here somewhere. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I've done a load of testing on the top Syscon come servo come everything else board, and everything checks out fine. The FG control voltage is next to 0 when it should be about 2.6 right the way through. And my way of thinking is this is actually the other way round to the Betamax machines, certainly the sort of C20, 30, 40, HF100 type arrangement, F30, where the higher the voltage, the slower the speed of the capstan. So with this, the lower the voltage, the slower the capstan needs to be. So if I'm getting like 0.6 volts, then the servo circuitry is trying desperately hard to slow down the capstan. Okay, so the big thing I'm forgetting when I'm checking all of these things, I'm checking voltages, and voltages are only really a very small part of the whole story of the servo system on this, and on all machines really. It's the FG waveforms that really do count, and I think like I said, those voltages, those high voltages are only part of the story. I think I am missing FG signals actually from the capstan motor itself. So just to demonstrate that, let's just push this around so you can see it a bit better. Let's power it on. And we're going to be looking at, well, let's just see if we get anything at all from the actual FG coil, which is pin, where are we? Pin 16. So if I press play, turn it on. So press and play. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing at all. So what I need to do now is get to the top board, and we'll just see what's going on there. But I don't think I'm getting any FG signals at all. So yeah, I'll just turn the machine over. Okay, so on pin 6 of IC202, I should get a very nice 1.46 millisecond per cycle square wave with peak to peak of 5 volts. Just turn it back on out of standby, racing. So in play, and I get nothing. I just get nothing at all. Where else can we look? IC201. Okay, so found IC201, and pin 2, that's 4.43 coming through. That's looking actually perfect at 100 millivolts total, 50 each side. So I need to look at pin 4, and it is auto set. So what's that? Volt per division, 4 volts peak to peak, which it is. We'll play back pin 23. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, so it's test point 204. I'm not going to be able to press play because I let it falter. So I'm not getting anything. That's the FG, I believe. So I suppose the other thing is to actually measure it from where the FG enters the board, because I should see a signal here. I'm getting nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. Okay, so just to show you what I was expecting, in playback, we did just check the... can I press play? Yes, I can. Nothing at all. Oop, dropped off. And what I should be getting is... on 9, it's 5 volts peak to peak, square wave, and I'm not getting anything. So that suggests to me that there's no FG signal, and given that we do have a chip, I think that chip here is okay. I think it is just literally it's not getting any FG. So what I need to do is strip out the basically the capstan motor, which could be fun, and just check it, see what's going on, and well, if it is the FG pickup, I mean that's it really. I'll need to try and find a scrap deck and take it from there really. Just started taking the deck out and realised I should really show it. I know it was mentioned on a previous video, but basically to get the deck out, which makes life a lot easier, to be honest. Unplug the red and the yellow to start off with. There are other cables, not that many. They go over, I think it's just that black one. So let's unplug that. I think that's pretty much it, because I mean, well, there is more, because obviously we've got the video amplifier sort of first stage there, but it's enough. I'm hoping that's enough to get this out without too much pain. Let's just undo this. Doing a really bad job of showing this, but it's late and I just want to diagnose this now. In fact, I don't think that actually does go to the deck, so I'm going to plug the black one back in, and we'll sort out the cable management as we go along. But I just need to lift this out, so board underneath is actually still free, which is not probably ideal. Probably should have just done something about that. And I know this should, it's a red connector for the looks, maybe. I don't know. Probably should look at the manual, but I should be able to, it's that bottom board, should be able to lift this out. And I'm pushing it up by that bottom board because I'm daft and I shouldn't have done it this way. Yeah, so I had to really jostle this board about. If it had been located properly, this would have just lifted out. There is enough play to get the whole deck out, which is good. So main problem I've got at the moment is that I can't eject the cassette for some reason. That dodgy eject mechanism that this has decided to no longer work. And I see the board's actually tried to clip itself back in, but of course it's missing here, so it's just fouling everything. But yeah, so FG coil, sorry, pickup. FG pickup is there, and see the cabling going down there, and then we know where it plugs in. It's right down there. Get some focus on that white connector there. So yeah, I'll get that out, and I suppose, I don't know, I don't know what to say, because I'm going to need a new one, I think. I'll probably test it, but yeah, I think that's going to be the culprit. So I've unthreaded the Hall effect. I don't know how I've done it, but somehow I've managed to pull out the negative connection, and really mangled it. And yeah, I've not pulled on the cable. So, and just looking back at the last sequence, that does appear to have, it was in. So I'm very confused how I've managed to do that, and I've actually managed to, I don't really see that. I've actually managed to just about see that. I've actually managed to bend that bit of metal as well on it. So I don't know. For a second there I was really hopeful. Oh, it wasn't properly connected. But looking back through the video, it was what it appears to have been. So yeah, I'll try and fix that, and I suppose try and test this device somehow. Okay, so I do actually feel a bit foolish about this, and I'll show you why. I'll put a picture up of a screenshot from an earlier part of this video. This I thought I'd pulled out when I unplugged this now, even though I didn't know how I managed to do it. But this is actually, or has been loose right the way through. It's sort of been sitting proud from the connector. So at some point that's been yanked. Not by me, because this has always had, since I've had this machine, this has always had a fast capstan. And of course that's the negative for that that sensor. So I can only assume that it's not been making contact all the time I've had this machine, and I've been battling with a bad connector. So I think well, let's have a go. See if we can get this, because the metal of it is really very, let's put some glasses on, really very much broken. And I say broken, it's not physically broken, it's know how well I'm going to be able to do this, but it's basically not making any contact at all, and it's not the easiest thing to test. I mean, I sort of wonder if maybe there is a way of let's just test it with the meter, getting some sort of reading off the meter and then plugging in. Still, yeah, that might not be so clever. Well, let's see if we get a reading. Okay, well, I get no readings at all. It's probably not understanding the sensor and the way it works. I'm sure it is just a Hall effect. Just a Hall effect. There's no sort of extra wizardry going on there. So that would have to go that way. So the flat of it needs to face the front, although I don't know how it's going to stay in there because it's got no locking tab. Yeah, it really is very broken. I mean, I suppose one thing I could do is see if I have continuity between the pin on the board and metal in there. I mean, I just don't think that's going to make contact. It's really very broken. But that would be such a win if that's all it is. And it makes sense with everything that's been going on. That is what's causing the problem. Let's see. As long as it makes good contact, it's all good. So let's measure from there. Well, that seems fine. Can I put it? Well, yeah, I can put it, but it doesn't make any difference. Let's get the pen. That's now open. You know, I think that's what's been going on. That's now open. And now it's fine. Now I've sort of pressed down. Oh, having said that, was I not putting the probe in the right place? Let's give that another go. Give it a little wiggle. Well, that seems fine. Okay, well, I suppose let's test it. So thinking on, I don't think this is going to fix it, because why would the capstan... Oh yeah, I suppose it would work. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, anyway, let's try it. I was just thinking, it wouldn't run at all, would it, if it didn't? But it would. It would go full speed. So here we go. think I've got it fairly well back together, enough to test it anyway. It's sounding exactly the same. I'm sure it shouldn't run that fast when you lace it. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly the same. I just think that capstan motor has had it, and somebody has been in there and had a play with it, came to the same conclusion, broken that connector. So I'm going to have to leave it here. I really need to find another capstan motor, and I do assume that probably that capstan motor is used in camcorders of the day. So I'm hoping they're going to be a heck of a lot cheaper than trying to get spares for this second hand on the open market. I just need to know really what camcorders use this capstan motor, and maybe even this deck. Maybe. But if you do know, let me know in the comments. That would be fantastic. Any ideas, and any comments on really how badly I went wrong and how I missed the point that it's actually the FG signal that really matters. The voltages only give a clue. So yeah, seeing that 4.7 volts, well, yeah, fine. That's actually showing that there is a problem there, but that isn't actually what was going on. So no doubt this will feature again in a future video once I get something sorted. I mean, this capstan motor is flopping about as well, so yeah, like I say, somebody's had a jolly good look at this and has come to the same conclusion as I have, that it's had it. So no win this time, but I think we learnt a lot, and it was quite interesting to look at somebody else's sort of stress trying to fix this machine and not getting anywhere. I mean, it's a shame because those heads are actually still really good. So, but I will get it going. It will happen. Or it'll go towards getting another one going. But yeah, with that, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe as well. It means a heck of a lot to me. And check back to other videos in the that we have in the playlists. I've been sort of trying to organise the playlists a bit better. So yeah, fantastic. See you in another video. Bye for now.